Hello everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right, great. In that case, first of all, everyone who's here, welcome to the third workshop of the hackathon. We have been doing this workshop for 2 sessions. Sorry, guys. Like I was saying, this is going to be the third workshop of this hackathon. And today we're going to discuss mostly about project management tool, focusing on Git and version controls. Uh, so yeah, uh, Today's workshop session is going to be led by Mahali Taile. She is the head of development here at A2SV, and she's going to provide you the workshop. So basically, we're going to have two separate sessions. Mahi is going to present the workshop, and afterwards, we're going to have a practice session where each of you will get the chance to practice some of the things that you have learned through the assistance of mentors in the breakout room. First of all, Mahi is going to present and show you something, and after that, we're going to start this breakout room session. So, yeah, I hope everyone will get something out of this workshop and something that will be helpful for your hackathon. If there is anyone, let's say, that knows a little bit about this topic, I'm definitely sure that you'll know more from this workshop, and definitely you'll get the best out of it. So, yeah, without further ado, let me give the stage to Mahalet and she'll continue.
Okay, thank you, Bevnet. Hi, everyone. My name is Mahalit Darajaile. I am the head of development in A2SV. Previously, I was a project lead for a kill project, one of the core development projects in A2SV. That's pretty much it about me. If you guys can hear me well, I'll start sharing my screen.
Mahi, I would recommend actually taking maybe 5 more minutes until we have more attendees because it would be really nice for them to know who you are. You do great things at A2SV. You do great things for African tech ecosystem. So my recommendation is potentially using first 5 minutes, meeting with our let's say attendees.
Okay, yeah, that would be great. So yes, while waiting for others to join, maybe I can talk about a little bit about my experience, and then you guys can ask me any question that you have. I am a recent graduate, and during my stay in college, I got a chance to to be the first member in ATSV, and then to learn more about data structure and algorithm there. I did my internship, my first internship in research internship at University of Michigan. And then I had a chance to work on industry internship with Google at London office. I have worked my internship there for 3 months. And right after that, I also had a chance to go and do my internship with Databricks. I did my internship in Databricks Amsterdam for 4 months, and then I came back here to Ethiopia to finish my study. Then while working and studying in my university, I also got a chance to participate in one of the projects in ATSP. I was a project lead there. I've been a project lead for more than 1 year. I was able to lead my team through the like the whole process of system software development. We worked with like we started from identifying the problem. We went through the development of our MVP, and we're currently testing our product with our beta users. The product is launched to our early adopters. It's being used and tested thoroughly. So yeah, that's it. So currently I just moved to a position for being head of development, where I oversee the development efforts that we have in A2SV. So yeah, that's pretty much it for me. If you guys have any question, I'm happy to answer.
Mahlet, to break the ice, I would love to initiate the questions. So can you tell us about the process, like what to do and how to ace in the interviews with top tech companies? Some of our attendees may be curious about that. You have done this for multiple companies. So can you tell us like what's the roadmap there for success?
Okay. So yeah, like I was like lucky enough to be with A2SV throughout the whole process. We have like a well-structured program where we learn about every data structure from the basics, and we learn these concepts in more detail. We work on problems, different problem sets, and and like we also learn and like practice these things in groups. It helps a lot to learn from each other. We do mock interviews constantly, and so like the idea is you have to work, you have to be consistent with your like problem solving skills. You have to learn more about those, learn in groups, because like you'd learn a lot of things from each other. You'd improve yourself from others' feedback, and do more mock interviews. And then once you're ready with these processes, you'd be ready to like ace any interview that might come up on your way. So like we also improve our other skills like communication skills in A2SV. It's important, it's equally important as problem solving skills. So work on your other soft skills to learn to work with others, so that you can show that you can collaborate with other team members to work on your projects. I would suggest everyone like to start working on your like sharpening your problem skills, learning more about some concepts out there about data structure and algorithm. Hopefully join A2SV. We provide in-person education and also remote education, and the program is well structured. It helps you prepare to ace any interview that you might encounter, and on top of that, be consistent. I would recommend you to do that.
Thank you, Mahlet. Team, do we have any questions to Mahlet before we get started? All right, looks like we are good to go, Mahlet. Thank you very much for the lovely introduction.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Emre. Okay. Okay. Can you guys see my screen? Okay. All right. Today we would be talking about one of the most popular tool and collaboration tool for project management, which is version control using Git and GitHub. In this session, we will talk a lot about what's a version control, why do we need it, and we dive into Git and GitHub. Git is one type of version control. GitHub is a tool we use to to work with others. We will see some basic workflow. I will demonstrate how to do some of the things. And then by the end, you'll also be practicing those by yourselves. We'll see how we can collaborate using Git. I will share it by the end. And like if for the exercises and everything, I would like write it in the chat, and like the coordinators would share it with you. So yeah, we will talk about more into during this session. So before I talk about what's like version control, let's start by identifying like what are the problems out there without version controls. So as you can see from the screen, there are 3 files. So like, can anyone tell me what this could mean? So like, as most of like developers, we've faced this if we never like came across with version control. So, okay, someone raised their hand. Go ahead.
This mean the first final that does mean the last version, and the main that final is the second. Something like the organized, but in the basic way, you know.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Like, like even some of us did this in our like early state of like coding, right? Like we wanted to update a single file, but like we still wanted to keep the previous one in case that then the things we updated didn't work. We just wanna go back like to the previous one. So yeah, like what kind of problems can we see through this? Like we don't know like when we would stop, like we'd keep adding final or like version 1, version 2 and things like that, and we don't know like which one is the final one. The other thing is it's really hard to collaborate with others if we keep versioning our files like this. And so like we might also like lose data, right? If we like lose these files, we won't be able to access them later on. So this is where version control comes in. So version control is a system that like records every change that you made in your files. So you'd need to update your files like while developing a project, developing a software project, you need to constantly update your code. So version control is a system that manages and records every state of every snapshot of your project that you have. So like there are a lot of many like version controls out there. It's not about like the only Git is not the only one. So these are the like some of the open sources version control management system that we have. Also, like there are other internal version control system that the top tech companies use, which basically works the same, like in basic ways, but like they use different commands. I got a chance to work with like Google's internal version control system, and like they all have their own way of version controlling, but like most of them have like similar basic ideas that we can share with. So in this version control systems, they help a lot in tracking the histories, the changes that we made, and it would make it very easy for us to revert back to the last changes that we made if anything happens. And most of the version controls provide a way to collaborate with multiple contributors. So yeah, so we need version control by the end of the day. So these are the many open source ones. So Git is the most popular one. So Git is one of the version control system. So it has its own way of tracking these changes in your code. So like what made Git popular is it's like for like a local repository for every user. So every user can have like a copy of like the remote repositories that we have in their local machine. They can work on it, they can collaborate in it, and then like push it to the remote or the remote server so that other people can start working on it. So Git is very easy to learn. Like it's most popular, starting from the startups to the big tech companies. Most of them use Git as their version control system. So Git is the system, the version control system. And GitHub is a tool. It's a web-based platform that like has every capabilities that the Git version control system has. And it also adds like provides like a way of hosting our repositories like in the remote server, which is GitHub servers. It has more like additional features. You can track issues in the GitHub, and it also have a very simple way of integrating with other project management tools like Jira. It's really easy to set up and connect your GitHub repositories with your Jira projects. So GitHub is the tool that we'll be using, and Git is a version control. That's the basic layout that we have. So if we talk about what all of these are, let's dive into the key concepts that these have. Like we would be switching back and forth to see like what each meant. So I would be sharing my screen, showing you how to do some of the things, and then going back to the slides to show you to continue with these key concepts. So the first one is the key concept that we have in GitHub is repository. So repository is like the higher directory or a folder that contains every file's metadata or every files that you have in your project folder, and every changes that you have made in those files will be recorded in this repository. So you can say it as repository is the umbrella directory or a folder that contains about everything that you'll be working on your project structure. So repository is the main directory that we have. So let's see how we can create. So okay. So repositories can be local, you can initialize your repository in your local machine, and they can also be remote repositories where it would be served in GitHub servers. So to initialize your repository, you can use git init in your, okay, let me share stuff and then reshare it. So first, let me show you how you can create a repository in your GitHub account. So you might be in different pages. So you would go to your repository section, and then these are all the repositories that you've been working on. You guys can set it up by clicking new. It's simple. So it would show you come up with a form where you can create your new repository in the remote GitHub server. So you guys can name it whatever you want, but it should be something you should word it in a way that's meaningful. You don't have to write random numbers, write random words. So let's call it Git tutorial for now. So if it is available, so repositories needs to be unique across your GitHub account, so it's available. So you guys can make it public or private. So public means anyone can commit to your public repository, and if it's private, you choose what people can commit to the specific repository. So you guys can add that. You guys can add README file here. So yeah, it's straightforward. You guys also can create a repository from template. So you can prepare a template repository with some actions to be enforced in that repository, and then you guys can make that repository a template, and you guys can create other templates from other repositories from this template. So there's a lot of functionalities that repositories gives, but we will do the simple one, and then you guys can create a repository like this. So now this is simple. You guys can create a remote repository like this. So the other one is initializing it locally. So let me create. Okay. So yeah, like you guys can create some folder in your like in your local machine. So I'm on my desktop. So let me. Can you guys see the screen? Maybe let me maximize it. I think. Yeah. Okay. So I just created a tutorial folder. Okay, let me go to Git first. Is there a question? Okay. So I just I am on the Git tutorial folder. So I wanted to initialize Git Git repository locally. So I just need to say Git init, and then it would initialize an empty Git repository in my local machine. So like right after this part, like it would start tracking every change that I made in the Git repository in Git tutorial folder like this one. So you guys can create locally like this one, and then you guys can create repositories in the GitHub account using the interface there. So once we set it up, like our repository, the other key concept that we have is staging and committing. So we wanted to start working on our repo. So let's say I wanted to add a README file in my local repository. So I would create a README file in the folder structure, and then once I'm ready to commit or record that, take a snapshot of that folder structure, I would stage it first so that I can commit and take a screenshot of that repository. So what I mean by this is, for example, let's say you've been working with multiple files, like you added 2-3 files and only you wanted to commit or add one file to the whole repo. So in using the staging, you guys can select that one file only to be added and to be committed, and then you can leave the rest of the files for later to be committed. If you're not ready, like if you're working with multiple files and you've just finished a couple of them and the rest you didn't want to include in the commit history, you'd just stage that one file and then commit it and then move on with the rest of the file. So stages intermediate step where before committing or before taking a screenshot of your project change, staging would give you a point or a way to select what to commit and what not to commit. So let's go ahead and create a README file. So as you can see, I just created one file. So at any time, at any point, you guys can use git status command to see the status of the the status of the repo. So it says I am on the main branch, which we will talk later on. So there is a README file which is not staged and it's not being tracked, and so there's nothing to commit to because we haven't added anything or any tracking in the repository. So I went to stage the README file to the commit history. So I can do that by using git add git add command, and then I can write the name of the file that I wanted to commit. So you guys can do that, and or if you want to track everything or like to stage everything, you guys can just use like dot to track or to add every file that you have currently. So I will just do dot. So now let's see by running the git status command. So now one file is being tracked and it's ready to be committed. So now it's being tracked in our Git repository. So I just staged it, and then next for it to be like tracked and like as I said, like recorded, we need to use commit command. So let's say git commit. And then we can add messages to our git commit. So one best practice that we need to always do is write a good commit message, because especially working with a lot of people, you need to be mindful of like what you changed, and it should be easily readable by others while going through your PR or going through your code and your commit history. So always be specific of what you did, and then write it in a way that's being understandable. So there are a common convention, which is, for example, for commit messages, it's recommended that you use present tense. So let's say I just added a README file. So like there are other you might come up with other conventions like to write your commit message, but like at least the basic thing that you need to do is write it in the present tense, and also write what you did in that commit exactly. So I just committed using git add commit, git commit command. So now it's created, like it's being tracked in our Git repo. So that's one thing. So like, how about now we wanted to, what if we wanted to combine our remote and local repository? So now the local repository is being there out there, like it's being updated on, being worked on, and we wanted to push like whatever we did in our local machine to the remote repository. So actually, like it shows you how you would create a new repository, and then how you can combine those two. So git init is how you would initialize your git in the local file, and then git add readme is how you added or you staged your file to the repository, to the local repository. You committed it, and then this is to switch to a branch main, which we'll talk later on. And then this is how you would add your remote repository to your local one. So you guys can use that, like git remote add. So origin is where the coming repository is from, and then you would tell it that it's remote, and it would add to your local one. So we can use this one as it is, and then add it here. So so we wanted to combine our local with the remote one. So we just used git remote add origin and the repository's URL. So now it's connected. So our local one, whatever changes we made in our local one is going to be added to the remote one. So after doing this, we'll be working on mostly in our local machine, making changes to our project. So once we've done that, we need to update the remote repository so other people can start working on it, or we need to change whatever push whatever changes we made to like remote repository so that it can be backed up or like tracked in the remote repository too. So in order to do that, we usually like use the word push. So push is, it would send whatever local commits that we made to the remote repository. So as I showed you earlier on, like I've been making commits locally, right? I just added readme file and then I committed that one. So we wanted this to be reflected on the remote repository. So we can do that by using push git push command. So like you guys can also find the commands here. So git push like pushes every local commits that we have locally to the remote one. So this is a flag to show that we're pushing for the first time, and then so we'll be pushing from like the origin, from the main branch here. So I keep saying branch. So like most of the things would make sense later on. But like for now, we're just using git push command with some flags and like arguments. Okay, so from this, like I've been doing some like commits in the local one, and then it showed me that it's been pushed to the remote one in the GitHub Git file. So let me reload this, and I expect like these commits to be added here. So now, as you can see, like there is a README file here in this repo, and there is a commit history here. Like I've committed for 4 minutes ago, and I can see like the commit history like this. So it's only add README file. So whatever things I've done locally has been reflected here in the remote, like in the remote repository too. Yeah, so this is how you guys can create a repository, like do some commits locally and then also sync it with a remote repository like this one. Any questions so far? Okay. Okay. So yeah, so like in order to sync, we use push for like pushing whatever local like commits that we made, and then for pull we would be fetching and like integrating changes that's made in the remote repository. So this is like recommended every time you wanted to start something, always try to pull from main and then start working on it. Like have the updated repository, especially while working with others, have the updated repository in your local machine, and then you will start working on it using like a git pull command. So yeah, this is basically what I've been like showing you. So yeah. So these are the main key git commands that you'd be using for a while. So you don't have to memorize them, but as you like work with it more, you would start to memorize them by yourselves. But like every time you guys can come back to here or like to the main git documentation to like to use these commands. You don't have to remember them, but usually what happens is once you start working with them, since they are short and like since they are very short, you would be memorizing them. So I just showed you how we can use like Git, like our local machine and remote repositories, and how we can sync between them. So then, like if we're the only ones that's working on our like on our project, that would be great, right? So you'd be working on your project, you'd be pushing it to remote branch or like a remote repository, and everything would be there. But like usually software projects are not like done alone. Like you'd be collaborating with other team members to do a project. So this is where like the like collaborating with Git comes in. So as you can see, there is a main branch like that has like the project state at some point, and then you'll be working on your like other on a single project or in a single feature, and then you'd be constantly updating the main branch or the main like the main path of the project, and then someone else would also be working on their like their part of the project or their feature, and then they'll be updating like the main path of the like the project. So like there are like new concepts that we need to see while working or in collaborating in Git. So the first one is branch. So as I showed you, like this is the main branch or the main like the main way or the main path that the project is taking, and you want to also work on other parallel paths working on your feature, and then after you finish working on your feature, you'd want to integrate it to the main part. So this is branch is where you can achieve that. So you guys can create a parallel version of the main branch or the main like the main path of the project. You guys can start working on it as if you are the main part of the like the main path of the project, and then once you're done, you'd like integrate it or merge it with the main path of the project, and then you'd move on. So branch is simply a parallel version of like a repository or like the main path that contains the whole project, and a branch can be like helpful to work on different features independently of the main path or the main branch. So in order to do this, we can do so let's try to clone a project from other other repo. Or I think I can, so I can create another branch, maybe. I can create another folder and then try to work on this similar branch for like similar repository here. So someone added this, and then I wanted to, so in order to clone or to work on an existing repository, like you guys can see the like the main link here, or like you guys can also take the main link from the URL, and then you'd use git clone. So let me create another. So I just created a new folder. I wanted to clone a remote repository into the like the new folder. So I can use git clone, and then like add like the specific URL that I just copied from here. So it says like your GitHub handle and then the repository name .git. So I just cloned the previous repositories that I created in the previous part, and then it will be cloning it to like the new folder that I just created. So now, as you can see, I like every changes that are made in the repo would be like added here. So this is how you can like clone or like start working on or start contributing on an already existing repository. So I just cloned this, and I wanted to work on like a new feature. So let's call that like new feature, like adding or like updating the README file to include my name. Okay, so like to create a branch, you would use git branch, a new feature, and then like that would create new feature, branch named new feature, and then you need to check out to that new feature like to be to start working on that branch. So let's create a new branch. Okay, I wasn't in the Git repository, so let me go to the So now I am in the Git repository folder. So I was on the outside, like outside folder, not the actual Git. So I can use the Git commands. So I just created a branch named new feature. You guys can use Git branch to see what kind of branch are there and which branch are you on. So when I say Git branch, it showed me that there are two branches, the main one, and then the branch that I just created. So like it shows me like with asterisks and like different colors that I am on the main branch. So even if I created a branch called new feature, I'm not on that branch. So I need to like change to the other branch to start working on it. So I can do that by using git checkout new feature. So it says I just switched to a branch new feature. I can confirm that by running the git branch command. So now I'm on new feature. So for simplicity, you guys can also do git checkout -b with -b flag and then new feature. It's just like creates any feature and it will check out you to that new branch. So like let's say like 2, and then now I created new branch, new feature 2 branch, and then I just switched to that. I can confirm that by using git branch command. So this is for short git checkout with -b flag. You guys can also do this. So yeah, this is how you create a branch, and you like switch to that branch to start working on your feature. So let's say I am on the new branch. Let me try to update the README file. Let me add my name. Okay. I just added my name, saved the file. So I just did something. Let's say you're working on your feature. So I can use git status to see what's the status of the current repo. So it says I just modified readme, and so like it's not being tracked. So unless you add it or unless you stage it, like it won't be tracking your modification. So I wanted to start tracking it. So I would say git add readme, or just dot for short, and then so now it's being tracked and it's ready to be committed. So I would do git commit. So modify readme file. So I just committed this one. So now it's ready. So I made all my changes in the local repo. Like I cloned from an existing repo, added my feature on top of it, and then record every change I made in the local repo. So now, so I added this new feature, which is modifying the README file. So now, as I'm working on my own branch. So if I switched to git main, so let me. So I just switched to main branch. So this file shouldn't include the changes that I made. So there is nothing here, right? So it shows me that the main branch is like behind, right? I worked on a new feature 2 branch, and then like all the changes are in my new feature 2. So I wanted to like combine whatever I did in new feature 2 to the main part. So I can do that by using so like if let's say other people have been working on the main branch. So before you like you commit, like before you merge, make sure always to make sure that the main branch is up to date. You guys can do that by calling git pull. But this is, since I was the only one working on it, it's up to date. So I wanted to like merge the new feature with the main like with the main branch. So I can do that by using git merge command. So git merge, and then the branch name. So new feature. So since I was working on the second one, I just do git new feature to branch. So it shows like it's been updating, and then like once file is changed, and then we have merged it with the main one. So let's try to see this, confirm this. So whatever changes I made on the new feature, now it's also being reflected on the main one. So let's confirm. Yeah, I am on the main branch, and then everything is reflected. So you guys can work on your separate branch, and then like once you're done with your like changes, make sure that you'd like merge it with the main one. You'd update it like the main one from the remote repository, and then merge it here. If so, like if there might be some conflicts, like others might be working on your similar files, and when a lot of people work on a single file, there is like usually like conflicts happen. So you'd resolve it here first before pushing it to the remote. So you'd resolve every commits or every conflict that you get, and then after that you'd like resolve that one, and then after making sure that the project works as it's supposed to, you'd push it to the remote branch. So yeah, this is how you would be working on. Okay. Okay, I think I have a question. Okay, go ahead.
All right. Hello, everyone. Hello, Malahali. Is that? Excuse me
Yes,
if I'm
just
mispronouncing.
it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
You guys can call me Mahi, by the way, for
Mahi.
short. Mahi.
Mahi.
Yes.
Okay, Mahi. That's great. So thank you for the workshop. I have two questions. The first one is on messaging when committing, like commit messages. I would like to know, professionally speaking, how long does it has to be exactly? How long?
Okay, before like making changes, and so it usually depends, but in general it's advised to make small changes. You do, like lots of changes are really hard to see, and to you have to do reviews, right? After that, after like making changes to your project, like you need to have other people to review your code. So if the changes that you made is pretty big, it's really hard for them to review it. It's really hard for them to see that, if like for example, if a bug was introduced, it might be really hard for them to notice that, because like the changes are a lot. So usually you need to commit make changes, small changes, but so small that people can like see it with one glance and approve it. And also you should also commit and try to merge it as soon as possible, because after you committed it, and other people would start working on similar files, similar things, and then you'd end up having lots of merge conflicts if you don't update it as soon as possible.
Yeah, great. Thank you so much. If I'm getting quite well, what you say is to make small changes and make commits that won't be so long, to
Yes.
explain what you did as changes. Thank you so much. The second one is on branching. On branching, I'd like to know, let's give this scenario. For example, I've been working on a given branch. Then I implement, if it was a feature, I implemented the feature, I test it. Yeah, it works. But when I come back, I merge, I come back to the main branch, for example, and then I merge my changes. I realize that I messed up something. Will I fix it while on the main, or will I move again to the specific feature branch to fix it and then come back to merge?
You are advised to work on your branch, because it would be easier for you to change things, like fix things on your branch, and then like try to merge it with main, and then like that helps a lot in a way that you won't be messing up the main branch. So always it's advised to start to like create a branch and then fix everything in your branch, not on main branch.
Okay.
And don't commit things on main branch,
On the main branch.
unless it's like a merge commits. You are like advised to work on your branch, commit on your branch, because the main branch is the one that's like that have the main paths, that have the main history, and you like doing it on your branch would help if you even mess up. And like if you like for example, if it's you ended up not using that feature, like that won't be included. And then you are always advised to work on your like other branch, not the main one.
Thank you so much for the answer.
Okay. So I also see one question. What if I don't want to push to main branch? So like so it's always advised to not like push to the main branch. And so like I started with merge, and like one quick thing I wanted to show is also about rebase. So merge helps like in creating or merging two different branches into one. And there is a different like command that's called rebase, which is similar to merge. But what rebase does is create a linear history. So let's say like the main branch is being developed by other people. You like branched out from the main branch, and then you started working on your branch, and then while trying to merge it to main, like a new commits will be added that includes your like your commits on your branch and the main branch. So like it will be completely new branch, and then a completely new commits and a copy of commit your like other branch commit. With rebase, it will be reapplying whatever commits that you did on the commits that are on the main, and then it will make it linear, so that people like you would have a linear history of commit in the GitHub. So after rebasing your main branch into your branch, you'd push your branch to remote branches. So for example, let me okay, let me push this one. So now if I go and see in this branch, so like as you can see, I merged my new feature to the main and pushed to the main branch. So this is for the sake of like showing you how you guys can do it, but in general it's not advised to work on the main branch or like push on the main branch. So let me okay, let me create git to make it up to date. So let me create another branch. let's say, let me call the feature, for example, name. Okay. Or what should I, like, so I created a new branch and switched to that, like, add name. So I am on the add name branch. I wanted to create a new file, let's say, name.txt file. So I just created this name.txt file. Let me add my name. And then let me do all the things I did before. So let me stage it first. And then now I am on my branch. So usually I would and then what I did before was checking out to main. Always check out to main and git pull. So this is important because, like, the main branch would go like there would be new updates in the main branch that's not reflected in your local machine. So always try to do this. So now, like, since nothing is happening on the remote repository, it's been already up. It's been already up to date. But always have a habit of that before like merging or rebasing. So now I see that, like, my local like main, so it doesn't have the name.txt. It's up to date with the remote one. Like, with merge, you'd merge your local, like, you'd merge your local branch to main. Or you guys can do also, like, the merge from, like, git merge. First, check out to add name. So now I can merge whatever things that are, like, that come from the, like, the main branch from the remote one. So, like, I can use git merge like main here. So it will merge everything from main to my local branch. So the other one is rebase. So rebase would make it, like, the commit history linear rather than the branch out thing. So on my previous here, this is usually how, like, the merge works, because it will merge everything, and then while trying to see the history, this is how you would see if it is, like, this copy of it would be added here and then, like, merge it here, and then this is how you'd see it. But with rebase, it would create that, like, the new point would be like, it would be reapplied, and then the new point would be your branch, and then after you push it to, like, your branch to the remote one, you would create a pull request, which is the normal, like, the recommended way of collaborating with others. So I'm gonna show you how to do that too. So I just created like, git rebase main. Everything that's added on the git main is currently every commit would be in my local or add name branch. So now I wanted to push that one. So git push. So I am on my, so let me say branch. So I am on the add name branch. So I can say git push from the local branch to be updated in the remote branch. Okay, so this is, since it's the first time and there is no like add name branch remotely, I need to use this command instead, which is like set upstream flag, calling this like origin this one would be like added there, and then every change would be added there. So now I created a remote, I created a new branch in the remote repository. So our name here. So it used to had like only main branch. Now it has our name branch. So like all the things I did is on the admin remote branch, not on the main one. So the main doesn't have the name.txt file, right? Like it's I haven't added that. So I just merged whatever on the main is to admin branch, and then the commits is also there. So if you see it, so this was the previous commits. I added this commit, and then like this would be linear while using Git rebase. So after doing this, the other thing you'd be working with is closely is pull request. So so you guys can do this like it will come like as you push it to the remote branch, this will show up. Even if let's say this doesn't show up, you guys can go to the pull request tab and then create new pull request here. So like I wanted to like merge the main branch in the remote one with the like RNAME one. So everything in the RNAME part I wanted to be updated in the main. So this is how you would create a pull request, and then like in order for you not to push to main. So it's not recommended to push to main. You always use pull requests to update or to work on your project. So this is how you guys can create a pull request. So you would write the title, like what you did here, add some description here. So there are some templates that you can use for creating pull requests. I have added the int like on the resource file where you would use like there are best templates that you can use. It will show up here. You just have to fill all those information and then create APR. So write in detail what you did. So for now, let's say this is enough, and then you'd add any reviewer here. So like since there is no collaborator here, it would show up once like you added your team members in your project, it would show up here, and then you'd add reviewers here, and then you'd create this pull request, and then they would see what you did, and then like they can see what files you changed like this. And then once they see that, they would like add some comments here, and then they can also like merge this pull request here. So you guys can also do squash and merge, and also rebase and merge. Squash and merge would so if you did lots of commits here, it would squash every commit message here, and it would add it. It would use the last commit as the main commit, and then it would squash it. But you guys can also do rebase and merge, which adds every commits to the main branch, and then this is how you should always do like update the remote repository using pull requests. So like you always don't push to the main branch, because the main branch is the main, like the at some state the project is defined by your main branch. So if you added something like something that's buggy, like the whole thing would be hard to, you have to revert it, you have to reset it for it to be back. But if you use pull requests, anything can be seen here and then tested and then merged once it's ready, and it's like after it's being reviewed, it will be merged once like it's approved by your reviewers. Okay. Okay. Go ahead.
Excuse me, I have a question on the pull request. I would like to know, I don't know, I didn't catch you quite well when you started presenting about it. When precisely do we do a pull request? Is it
Okay.
when we've already done the branch and push it, and that's where we...
Yeah. So yes, so like we've done branching first, right? We branched to like a new branch. I branched out to add name branch. So like that's, for example, add authentication, something. So come up with these conventions that each team can use. So like the branch name can be a convention between your teams. So for example, like in my project, what we usually do is we'd write our name, for example, Mahalit dot. If it is Fisher, we do fit Fisher. If it is fixed, it would be fix slash the Fisher name or the fix name. So you guys can come up with such conventions, and then like once you created that branch, you would start working on those branch. You would commit your changes there, and then we wanted to push like the local one to the remote one, and then we pushed that one here, and then like once we pushed it there, this like new branch came here. So after like this branch has been pushed to the remote repository, you wanted to merge it to main. Like you wanted, you tested your feature, it works, and then like you did the rebasing, the merging locally, and it works. You've made every if there are merge conflicts, you fixed it locally, and then you pushed it to the remote branch, which is our name. This is a remote branch. So you wanted to merge it to main. So we said like main is the main part of the project. So it's been tested, it's been like fixed everything. So we wanted to merge it to the main. So like similarly, we used git merge locally, right? In the remote part or in the remote section, we use pull requests to merge this. So in order to do that, you go to pull requests tab, and then you would create new pull requests, and then it will show you which branch are you trying to merge. So basis the one like the changes will be reflected on once this PR is accepted or like merged. This basis the branches that you want the changes to be reflected on. This is the branch that the changes should come from. So in our case, we've been working on our name branch, right? So this rname branch, we wanted whatever changes that made on the rname branch to be merged on the main. So like you'd select the rname or the branch that you wanted, and then the base would be main mostly, and then you'd create like pull request here. So since I already created the pull request here, it says view pull request. So this is how it came to pull requests. Does that answer your question?
I believe so. You mean after finishing the feature I was working on, I'm happy with the way it works, and I push it on GitHub. I now want it to be in the in the main branch, so that I can create a pull request and merge it. All right.
Yes, and then in that pull request, add people like reviewers here, so that they would see the changes. So you like in your part, you've done your part well, but like you might need a second opinion, a third opinion, and always you guys can set up some rules in the setting part of like the repository, where, for example, pull requests shouldn't be merged at least like without having at least one approver or one reviewer here. So after like 1% said it's okay, like it's okay, then you guys can merge it, and then the main branch will be updated. And similar, like you guys can add pull request templates, which I'll be sharing later on, so that you guys can, like for a specific pull requests, you might need to include like what impacts that the PR does, like how is it tested, and like if there are other tools that you use for task tracking, like Jira, you need to include the Jira ticket here, and things like that would be, you guys can create that template, and then for every pull request, okay. So there was one other question. What do you think is better, making changes online on GitHub or making it? Okay. So as a developer, like I would say, like use the local git commands, like you use terminal, git bash, or everything to like commit and work on locally, and then always work locally on your machine, and then once it's ready, try to do the merging, the rebasing in your local branch, so that you won't you won't mess up the main. So after merging, rebasing in your local machine, and then you would push it. And then while pushing, you don't like you guys can also set it in the setting for to like for people not to push to main. So you guys can also limit them not to push to main, because main is it happens. So in software project like development, you'd you'd do something that might break the main flow. So always don't push to main. Push your branch to the remote one, that like I did, and then try to merge it using pull request. In the pull request, like you guys can see if there are merge conflicts, and everything can be shown there. So only use the git like pull request to merge your changes to the main, and then in that like pull request, add someone who might be like who can see your code and give approval for your code. So in that way, you make sure that whatever you're doing is working in the right direction and going in the right direction. Okay. Yeah. I think. Yeah. The team would share you the slide. So yeah. Basically, these are the things. So these are the best practice. Always we need to use branches for new features or like fixes that you need to do. Use branches. Don't develop or commit on the main part. Main is for you to like to update, to get updates from other people's work. So always regularly pull updates from the main branch, which makes your local repository to stay up to date, so that you won't run into merge conflicts a lot. The other one is resolve conflicts through merging and rebasing. So once you merge or rebase it locally, the merge conflicts would show up, and then you'd resolve those conflicts locally and then push it. Then use pull requests for code reviews. Always like have at least one other person review your code before pushing to the main branch or to the main paths of like the project. And for discussion, if you're also like stuck in some things, you guys can still create pull requests, and people can start commenting on your code, so that you would improve it in that pull request. Once it's updated and ready, approved, it will be merged to the main part. So yeah, that's it. These are the resources. I will be sharing it with you. So now I think if we don't have any more questions, you guys,
Yeah, maybe I'd like to ask it as we are finishing. So it's more, I don't know if it's personal, but I'd like to know when it comes to a project, thank you first of all for the presentation. It was really enriching with a lot of with some hands-on practices. It was really amazing. I'd like to know, personally speaking, can you give us, I don't know, maybe a flow while working on a given project? It can be generic, but it can be somehow a starting point to us. For example, when we have a project we want to work on as a team, which flow are we going to use? How many branches are we going to create? That's the first question. And the second question is on branching. I know on a given project, there can be, I don't know, there can be branches that we decide our project will have this and this branch. And from your speaking, I heard that once I want, like for example, me personally in the team, I want to work on a given feature. I have to create my branch, and I work on that branch until I'm happy with how the way my contribution works. Then I can push it to GitHub and do it and make a pull request. And once the code is reviewed, it can be merged now to the main branch. So the question is, like, how many branches, or can you give us a given flow we can follow, so we can be able to maybe manage our project? Yeah, we can have something to start off with.
Okay. So yeah, like I would say, so like it would be similar to what I have demonstrated. So like usually you would be starting with any repository, for example, for your project, or you might start from another repository that's been there for a while. So you would like clone that repo or create that repo in your local machine, and then you are in the main branch always, right? When you started. After that, you wanted to start working on your feature. So always check out to that feature, that branch. So for that branch, you guys might come up with some convention that's helpful for you, like to communicate. So what I mentioned as an example was, for example, I would be working on that feature. So I would call that, I would start with my name for that branch, then dot or like something or hyphen as you wish, and then I'll be working on a feature, or it might be on a bug fix. So to differentiate that one, I would say dot like fix or dot feature. So to see that, to show that I'm working on that feature, and then I can use hyphen, either dot or slash, and then name that like feature. For example, it might be authentication. So this kind of naming conventions you guys can come up with your own. If you are using Jira too, like there is a specific way of naming it, which is the ticket number, like there are tags. So it might be different from project team to team, project to project, but there are some conventions. So come up with your own, or see something online and choose something that's simple for you, for example. And then you'll create that branch. You'll start working on your branch. Other people would also be working on their branch, and then might also like merge it main in the remote part. And then once you're finished with your branch, like you'd go back to your main, or check out to your main branch, and then pull everything that's been done on the remote repository. So that would make your local local main up to date. And then after you pull every changes that's made in the remote repository, you'd merge that changes, or you'd rebase that changes into your local branch. Local branch was the feature that you were working on, right? And then now your local branch has everything like that the main has, plus your changes on top of it. So your local branch is like the main leading one in the project, right? Like the others have merged their changes and everything. And then once you are like your local branch is the one leading like at a leading point, you would push it to the remote one so that you get others can see the changes that you made, and also like give their comments in the PR, discuss it with it on the PR, and then like once it's approved, it will be merged to the main in the remote one, so that other people can pull it and start working on it. So this is the main like flow, usually how it goes like that. I can also like show you like on the resources part I have given, you guys can see also like how things are going. So like I whatever I talked, also like you guys can experience it in the workshop that I'll be giving you in like soon. So this is like the main process that you would be following in the long run. So like the other question, if I remember, so how many branches you said? It's fine if you create a lots of branches. So one good practice that you need to do is after merging your pull requests, it's advisable to delete your branch. So you're done. You're like everybody discussed it, like you've improved it, and you've merged like your changes, and then you'd like after merging your pull request, it would show up. Let's say. So now I'm done with my like everything. It's been approved. It's been merged. The main branch has everything. So you'd delete it here. So like you'd and in some point, if you wanted to revert this change, or you start to restore this branch, you guys also you always can do that from here or from the branches part. So it's okay. Like it's not as if it's gone, but it would keep the like your project clean. So now I am down to one branch, right? So for every feature, for everything, make sure that you're creating a new branch. Like always create a new branch as much as like as much as needed, maybe, and then work on your branch, merge it, and then after you merged it, you can delete it anytime. So I would advise it for you to create your new branch as needed. And so, for example, you might be deploying to other branches. So main should have like the latest state, but you guys can also have other branches like deployment branch, so that people like you'd once everything is tested in main, and like every things it works in main, you'd like rebase it to that deployment branch, so that like those things that you have integrated in your deployment branches would work as it is. So that's the other thing. I guess if that answers your question. Okay. So in that case, so this is a good tutorial that so I've been like talking about most of the things, and for you guys to see that you've grasped whatever I said, and to start working on some of the commands. Like I will share it. I don't know where I should share it. I will share it in the chat, maybe, and then go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
I wanted to ask, can we get your, are you open to help us like after this, like getting your contacts, maybe your LinkedIn profile? Yeah, okay, thank you very much. You are muted, ma'am.
Okay. Yes. Yeah, I said I am open. Like you guys can search me on LinkedIn, send me a connection request, and yeah, we can talk there. So this is the link to the interactive workshop. So like at least I want you guys to go through this for basic introduction, and then it will be fun, I guess. And I think we'll be using different breakout rooms. Others will be there to assist you. Yeah, and yeah, thank you. Anytime you guys can drop me your question, I am here and available to answer.
Mahlet, we are almost done with setting up the breakout rooms.
Okay.
And in the meantime, if there are any questions we can get from people, or Behmlet, are we ready?
Yeah.
Okay, we are ready to join the breakout rooms. Thank you. Let's go and
Okay.
continue with the breakout
Okay.
rooms.
Okay.
Yeah, so for the people who are in the main call, you'll see a button that says join at the top right of your screen. So please click that button and join your assigned breakout rooms.
Okay. So yeah, so there are like many exercises here. Like we have covered like the introduction part to Git rebase. So yeah, I want you guys to go to the link. Start, like there is when you click start, there is some description here of like what you guys are doing, but I have already covered like most of it, so you guys can continue to the exercises, or you guys can also see the description there, and like see like the instruction there. So so to do this, for example, it says git commit to commit your branches, and then this is interactive exercise. So you'd go to you'd read it if you want, and then you guys can also skip it. And like once the explanation is done, there is instruction here, and also this is what they want. For example, for the like the history to be shown. So you're here right now. You wanted to go to this third commit with a mean. So you'd add your commands here, and then if it's all right, it would say like click like right. If it's not, it would like show errate thing, so that it says you're using the wrong command. So like let me start with this one. Like we are at C1. We wanted to get to the third commit. So I would say git commit. Let's say initial commit. So yeah, it was right. Then we are at C2. We wanted to go to the third commit. Okay. Second commit. So yeah, so once you're done, it says solved. So you guys can also go to the second part. Is it? So this is how you'd interact. You would write your code, and then like if you are right, you would be finishing up the exercises. And in the meantime, if you have any question, you guys can ask me, and then we'd go together. And if you guys can also share your screen so that we can see how you guys are proceeding. Can you guys hear me, by the way?
Mahlet, we lost you for a second, but now you're back.
Okay. So I think for most of the like the part you've seen it, I guess.
Yes, at the same time, it would be nice if you just give us the content of last maybe 45 seconds.
Oh, okay. Oh, I was okay. Let me go back, I guess. So so okay, let me reshare the link. I just
maybe we can share the link again in the chat window, Mahi.
yes, okay. Okay, just click on that. Like it shows how the project is being like tracked. So when you do git commit, it would create a snapshot of that state, and then the main pointer, like the main branch, would start pointing to that commit. So you guys can read the explanation here. So it says hit the button below to git commit. So it shows that the project has been progressing to other state, and this is how you can learn about the commands and also like move along with the tutorial. So now that it shows you like what to do, the exercises would show up. So let's say click here. So the exercise is about like changing the adding more commits to your current repo. So it's at C1 now, like from C0 it came to C1, and the goal to reach is to C3, which is the commit 3. So in order to do that, you have like terminal type interaction here. It also shows you hints here and then what you need to do. So if your command is right, it will show you like it will say tick. If it's wrong, it will show you like wrong. So let me just do a wrong command, for example. So it says it's not supported and it's wrong. So we need to do the right command. So let's say git commit. I wanted to commit, right? So I can add commit messages like initial commit. So yeah, once you do the right commit in the right way, it would move. So still it's in C2. We wanted to reach to C3. So let's do another commit. So since you have reached the goal, it says you have solved it, and then this is how you would do the exercise. So you've done the first part, and it will go to the second part, which says about Git branches. So this is how you do your exercise. So if you have any question, it's really better if you guys can also share your screen, and if you can see while solving your problem, and if you guys encounter anything, we are here to help.
Hello, Barakat.
Mahlet, sorry, I lost my connection. Is there anything I can help with? You are muted.
Okay. Yeah, just I'm here. Like if they have any questions, I would also be doing the exercises.
Mahlet, sorry, I lost my connection.
Okay. The rest of you guys can hear me, right?
Yes, I can hear you as well.
Okay, okay. So yeah,
since we have the main, Mahi, since we have the main workshop still in this room, like I would recommend, even while waiting questions from our members, potentially going with the exercise
yes,
to
I
help
would be
our
doing.
workers. Thank you.
Yes, I would be doing the exercise too. Okay. Okay. So this part talks about the branches. So yeah, branches. Yeah, as I talked about early on, it helps for you to work on your features, and then separately in parallel with the main. So it has a good suggestion. It says branch early and branch often. So always do your work on your branch, and then do the rebasing and merging after you've made sure that everything works in your branch. So for you to create a new branch, you would use git branch command, and then the name of the branch that you wanted to create. So let's do that. So that's all to branching. So you guys can create a new branch like that, and then start working on your branch. So like after creating this new branch, you do git commit, and then like that would be updated on your branch. So after creating a branch, you'd still be on your main branch. So you need to check out. You need to use git checkout to switch to the branch that you just created, and then you'd use git commit to apply your changes in that branch. So yeah, let's start with the exercise. Oh yeah, so like it was called git switch, and it would any you guys can also use git switch. It would eventually replace git checkout command. So yeah, let's start with the exercise. So the other thing is you can simply use git checkout with minus, like with b flag, to create a new branch, and then switch to that branch at the same time. So okay, the goal is to create a new branch called fix, and then we'll check out to that branch. So let's do the exercise. So that created the backfix branch, and we need to check out to that branch by using git checkout command. Okay. I would wait for you guys. If you guys have any question, I'd wait a little bit and move on with the second, with the other part. Okay. So with this one, it talks about like merging. So for us to do, so like after we branched out from main and did our commits and update our branch, we need to merge it back to the main. For us to like merge two branches, we use git merge. So we merge the branch backfix to main, like this one, git merge main, after checking out to the main branch or switching to main branch. So we do check out to like backfix, and we can use git merge main to merge main branch into the backfix branch. So this one is in the reverse. First we said we would do git merge backfix on main. Here we were doing git checkout on backfix. We are merging main. So yeah, in this exercise, we would make a new branch called backfix. We would check out to backfix and then commit once, and then go back to main, which is check out to main, and then commit another time. So we'd do the main would be updated again, and then we would try to merge backfix into main with git merge command. Okay. Okay. So we're here. We need to.
Mahi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, maybe like after finishing the workshop exercises, if we have remaining time, could you please also go to potentially Akhil's Git and show us like how do you do things, like how things grow in an ongoing project?
Okay. All right. Maybe let me do this exercise and then. So. Okay, and then git commit again. Then we wanted to merge backfix. Okay, this is how we can merge. Like we can branch out from main, do different things on different branches, and then merge it to have like everything in one branch. So yeah, the last one is Git rebase, which I showed you early on. It helps. It's similar in a way with Git merge, except it keeps like the commit is tree linear, which is a good practice to do for especially for larger projects.
Mahlet, we got one question from our audience, YouTube audience.
Okay.
How are we going to make commits into the same branch as a team, as a group? Like in the chat window, you can see it.
Oh, okay.
Ebenezer
Oh, okay.
wrote it here.
Yes. Okay. So others can work like on the same branch. Like you guys can also multiple people can work on a single branch. But it's not usually like recommended to do that. But you guys can like pull this. One person can create that branch, can push it to the remote repo, and other people or other team members can pull that branch into their local machine, check out to that branch in their local machine, and start creating commits in those branch. But it would create a conflict working on a single branch. Usually you are recommended to create your own branch and then merge it or rebase it as soon as possible with other branches so that you would keep updating in sync with changes that are being made from other people. But you guys can also do that on the same branch. It would have all the histories that has that branches, and then you would start committing after that one. But you'd run into lots of conflicts if you're using similar branch to update it unless you work carefully. Okay. So the other one is git rebase main. So it would rebase it's similar to git merge, but rebase would keep linear history like this one. It would add every commits to the main like the main or the tip or head of the branch, like the commit branch there. So you do just use git rebase bug fix, and it would update every commit that's done on the bug fix, and it would be merged into the main one, and we would have a linear history of git commit. Yeah. So in this exercise, we are required to create a new branch bug fix, and then commit once and go back to main, and then commit again, and we try to rebase as we did for the merge. Okay, so we're here, we wanted to go here. So let's create like a new branch with checkout and -b flag, which would create and checkout to that branch. So it says bug fix. So I created a new branch and switched to that branch. Then I would do git commit to change something, and then I would go back to the main branch. So for the sake of this exercise, I'd commit to the main branch, but general avoid committing to the main branch. Always commit and work on your own branch. Then let me merge, rebase the bug fix to the main rebase. And then it would rebase everything, and we would have this linear structure like this. Oh, okay, let me, okay, I'm on the main git. So this is how you'd point out to your have a linear work commit history in your branch. So I think we have time to see some of the code bases in Akil. Let me open it up. Okay, let me. Okay, so this is Akil's. So you guys can also work on. Okay, let me. With different tools like VS Code. So let me go to. Okay. Let me try to see where is it found. Or like I can just use it here with the terminal. So I am on Akil repo, and I am on main branch. So I do git pull to update, always update everything from the remote repo like this one. And then once I wanted to start working on my branch, I would create a new branch. And the way we do is, for example, Khalid, this is the name that we want, like my personal name, so that like others can also be working on similar feature. So that's how we came up with this convention. So let's say I'm working on the feature like this, and then like I would use another one, which is slash, or you guys can also use this one. And then let's say I'm working on authentication. So it shows which feature I'm working on, and then like with the branch name, we can easily show that which person is doing what, and if it is a feature or it's a fix on that feature. So now once I've created that branch, I would start working on this authentication feature. So let's say I wanted to change something here. So for the sake of in the backend, so let me say, for example, hi here. Let me add something like this, and then so it show me that like I have modified this change. So I wanted to add this change. And then for the commit messages, we usually use Jira tickets. So like I need to create a Jira ticket in our Jira project management, and then I would attach that to every commit message before. So I'd say, for example, git commit, and the message would be like this, and then I would start with, for example, it can be APD like 12. This is the ticket, the Jira ticket number. And then since let's say we have different teams, we have backend, web, Telegram. So let's say this is general. So let me say general. And if it is a feature or fix, I would say either fit or feature, like this. And then I would write my commit history, which is add text on readme file. So it should be present tense, and the commit should be like something that that would explain what I did in that exact commit. I will do this. And then after doing this, I will go back to Git, to the main. I would pull again to, okay, main. And then, so the changes are not here. I would pull from the main again, so that it will be updated. Always make sure that it's updated, your local branch. And then I would go back to the specific feature I went, and then I would do git rebase main. So it will create like it will rebase everything on main, and then after that I would do git push. Oh, so like since it's the first time, it would ask me to create a remote branch with similar structure. So I would do git push set upstream, and then we can go to the Akil's repo. So it shows me that like I have just pushed one branch here. So it would ask me to create a pull request. So like the commit message would come up here, which it would auto like add it to the Jira ticket. So this is what I meant by some templates. So for every PR that we create, it asks us like what's the reason that we are doing this, the impact it has, what type of testing we've implemented on. So like the Jira ticket, it will be updated like added like this, and then any reference if there are documentation and anything that will be added here. So this template, you guys can also find it on the like slide. There are like lots of templates like added there. You guys can pick the ones that's convenient for you. So you'd fill out these things while creating the PR. The other one is you guys can also add reviewer here. So we have different approvers for different section of the like for different section of the code base. So since I changed it, I think in like in backend folder, it asks me to, it recommends me to add backend approvers. So I can add any other person that I wanted, like from my teammates, to be like to review the code. So I just added one person here. So let's say like after filling this one out, you'd create a pull request. So I wanted to show you that you guys can't merge because like at least it needs one person to approve this request. So like everything else passed, but it asks you to at least one person to approve it, and once they approve that request, you'll be able to merge your pull request. So this is how we usually do things in Akil, and in most of the projects in A2SV, we'd utilize always the pull requests to add features, to work on the feature, and like have conversation and a discussion on our code, like this one, and then fill out the basic things in our PRs like this.
Mahi, I have one question here. So, especially for many junior developers who want to move fast and break things, these like writing commands, keeping things tidy, having tags, writing descriptions, etc., may feel like waste of time. Many junior developers probably have been at that point in the past, right? But the best practices are different. Maybe can you let us more about what's the junior mindset there and what's the junior mindset missing? Why these things are important?
Okay, so yeah, one thing like I would recommend is like with many of the like best practices. So they are there for a reason. So we are always like in urge to change things to show that that feature works with others. We don't test our code thoroughly, and then we think that we have addressed everything in our code. But like this, for example, creating PR request every time might be tiresome, but in the long run, it will help a lot. Like every code would be like merged to main. Like once we know that it works well and it will integrate well with the main, so we have that urgency of like updating the code base as soon as possible, trying to like show off that we've done that feature as soon as possible. But we like in those rushes, we usually end up breaking things. We usually end up creating bugs, and also like features would also be other features will be at like you might, for example, in the backend folder, you have worked on like on this on your backend side, but you might for some reason, let's say you change something in the mobile team or in the web team folder. So like these things are there for you to see that like if I changed something in the backend folder in the like in the mobile folder, it would alert the mobile team that I changed changed something in their code base. So before merging or before creating that bug in the main branch, in the pull request, you would be able to early catch on these things. So it might be tiresome. It might feel like tiresome to do this stuff, but it helps a lot in moving forward. So once you've done it once or twice, you'll see the benefit. Well, you'll see that your course will be well written. It will be well understood by other person, writing comments there, and you'd greatly minimize the time it will take to revert back or to debug those issues if you've done it right the first time. So it might be tiresome, but once you get accustomed to it, it would come up naturally. You would write your comments naturally. You'd write clean codes in a way that would be understood, and then you'd learn these practices, and it would save you lots of time later on if you've done it well in the first time. So these best practices are there for you to protect you from creating some damage, and then spending more time than it's needed in the later stages fixing things. It would help you a lot in the first time. If you've done it well in the first time, you'd avoid lots of workforce wastes in the long run, and then the time it would take to fix and refactor things in the later stages. So I would say always push for best practices. Those are guidelines there for you to help you be more productive. It might not seem like it, but once you started using it, you would see the difference, and then it would help you a lot in minimizing the the time it will take you to fix things than first to do it right in the first place.
Thank you very much, Mahlet.
Yes. Okay. And so any other questions?
I have one more question. So did we make any demonstrations about interactive rebase? I have seen that we have covered rebase. Are you familiar with that?
Not yet. Usually the main work, I didn't came up to the place where I needed that interactive rebase. So yeah, you might, so in general you might come up with different situations, but Git has a very large documentation that you can always refer to, and then use those commands. So there are reversed reset things, cherry pick other commands out there, but I didn't come up with those. I didn't had a time to face those so far. Yeah.
Got you. That's completely fine, Mahlet. And during my engineering times, interactive rebases were very helpful to me. So maybe I can give a bit of an information to the team. So interactive rebases allow you to rewrite the history, in short. So basically, if you want to merge multiple commits into one, if you want to change the order of commits, let's say there are different additions you made and you want to categorize them based on which part of the code base that they are touching at. There may be many reasons for you to want to rewrite the history, and interactive rebase allows you to do that. So maybe at this point we can actually see the power of generative AI. So maybe we can go to ChatGPT and ask about interactive rebase. Let's see how it is going to perform.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Let's ask. Do you okay? So let's ask about. Are you familiar with Git interactive rebase in Git? We are currently in a workshop, and we want you to be a Git expert and explain us how we can use interactive rebase effectively.
Okay.
So basically, when we say git rebase, minus I and minus I is for the interactive rebase. After that, we give like the head of the commit. So right now, head tilde 5, it actually tells Git, hey, I want to do rebase in the last 5 commits from head to head tilde 5, head to head minus 5 we can think of. And by default, all of these commits are picked. Like when we think of the branch history, in a history of a branch is a list of commits, right? So right now, we see the top 5 commits. So there are different operations that we can do with each commit. Like pick is using the commit as is. And this is the default case, right? In the history, normally all the commits are used. They are added as a new blob to the commit, to the branch. And if you want to keep it as is, you can just say pick. So very handy one, revert. If you want to change the commit message, like you don't want to touch the commit, let's say you are doing development and your commit messages are not beautiful and you want to beautify them before you push to the main branch because you're a responsible developer and you want to help other developers to know what's going on in that commit. So revert can be very handy. And like there is apparently edit pause to amend the commit. So when it comes to that point, like you are going to be able to make bigger changes than the top line of the commit message. So basically, this is going to execute each line. So when you think of that, pick is a command, right? So we give a command to Git, hey, choose this commit and add to branch. And when we say revert, we say, hey, when it comes to this one, allow, like use the new description. And in the edit, it will stop at that point of the operation and ask you to do the edit operation. Like let's say the revert is not going to do your job, you want to do more changes. So at that point, you get to that commit, and then you can edit the commit. And so squash, this is a very good one. Let's say there are multiple commits, and they don't have to be separate. You know, you want to squash that one into the previous one. Like as if, you press it from the top and then the last one gets merged into the previous one. So squash can be also very useful when you want to keep your commit history tidy. So like in fixup, apparently, it discards the commit message. It literally puts it into the below one. And drop is just going to drop it. Like you don't see any value in that commit anymore. Like you tried something, it's not gonna be there. So with drop, you can do that. And also, if you want to reorder, you can just swap the commits, because it's going to apply these instructions on top of the existing one. So that's why, like, all right, team. I believe people are joining back to the main room one by one. And now let's get some impressions about the workout session. So when we were in the breakout rooms, when we were doing exercise, how did it go? It would be really great if you share your experience. And if you want to take the microphone, please raise your hand as Wilbert does. And Wilbert, yes, we are with you.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for the breakout sessions, because this platform really changed a lot for me in 1 second. Because I was not doing my codes the right way. I'll just do copy and paste, and then you put some on the desktop or maybe on the hard drive or USB and stuff. But overall, the Git platform is the best for me. So thank you for this one.
Very happy to hear that. We are happy to have you with us, Wilbert. Thanks for joining us. All right, let's continue with Tusnelde.
Okay, am I audible? Okay, thank you very much. This breakout really helped me because I was working on the project, then I didn't know how to add the collaborator and the person wasn't able to see my code. Thank you very much for that.
Happy to hear that. You are very welcome. Next up, Levan Loluba.
Hi, how are you? So I just thanks for sharing the website where we can practice. So I just wanted to know if there's any official courses to and where we can get them to so that we can say, okay, this person is proficient in being able to use JIT, to do JIT commits and all of that.
That's a very good question. Like its official documentation is very good, and I'm sure there are many courses out there. And I will talk with our organizing team and make sure that their best pick will be shared in our communities. So definitely, there are plenty of contents online, but we will help you to pick the ones that are actually very practical and helpful. So, baby, let's take this as an action item. Thank you very much for bringing this up.
Okay,
And
thank
again,
you.
team, like our objective here is just to help you jump into the water. So this is very introductory. There is a lot that you can learn about Git. If this wasn't great, it wouldn't be used by so many engineers all over the world. Like many different companies I worked at, they are using a version control system, either Git or their internal version of it. But yeah, this is definitely helping engineers all over the world. Thank you. All right, next up, Takutsva.
Okay, thank you very much for the nice workshop. So I've learned that on our project we're more like repeating what someone had already done. This helped me to save like time, and also this showed me that you can save time and just collaborate with someone who had already done these things before.
Excellent, thank you. And before we finish the session, I would like to give the mic again back to Mahlet. Um, I hope you hear the feedback, Mahlet. People really learned a lot. Thank you very much for your time, your energy. And do you have any message, like conclusive remarks for our members?
Okay. Thanks everyone for attending this session. It was really helpful. Like even if like I thought I knew a lot about Git while preparing this workshop, it helped me to know more about it. So yeah, for some of you this might be a repetition, but I hope you guys learned at least something today. So yeah, in general, like in in conclusion, I would like to say that always like use this kind of tools for you, like for your project developments with like task tracking, so that it would help a lot for you to progress. So at first it might seem like an overkill. It For example, you guys are working with two person, you might think that this might be an overkill, but it helps a lot in scaling things, in working with other people working across across countries remotely. So use these tools to help you utilize your time, be productive more, and also like follow the best practices like as much as you can, so that it will help you a lot in later stages. While if you've done it right the first time, it won't take that much for you to fix things. So yeah, utilize such kind of things in your project development, and it will help you a lot. Some of the like you might come up with other scenarios where you have to use like more advanced Git commands. Always go to the official documentation to try to learn more about it, and then you would like implement it in your case. So other than that, yeah, always use this kind of tools to help you progress much more faster in your project development phase. So yeah, that's it from me.
Mahlet, thank you very much for your
Can you guys hear Emre?
time. Like I believe also this was a very informative session. Many of our attendees. Am I audible? Sorry. Maybe let me kill my camera if it's going to
Yes.
help with the audio.
Okay.
Can you guys hear me now? Am I audible or no?
Yes. I can hear you. Yeah, you guys, we can hear you.
Okay, perfect. And team, let's remember this is just the beginning. We are starting with these helpful workshops, and soon after you are going to be doing project idea submissions. And after that, we are going to have our kickoff with 128 projects to the quarterfinals. I believe that is going to happen on July 19th, Friday. So our kickoff is going to take place at 11 a.m. East Africa time, 8 a.m. West Africa time. And after that, the quarterfinalists are going to be pushing until July 21st, Sunday, 7 p.m. East Africa time, 4 p.m. West Africa time. So please continue getting excited, sharpening your saws, and bring your innovative and builder aspects to the table. And let's enjoy this great experience. Again, there is no loser in this beautiful race. Thank you very much for all the organizers. And please stay tuned for the future steps of our continent-wide hackathon. And one last news, that's a great one. As of today, we have actually exceeded our participant count by last year. So officially, A2SV AI for Impact Hackathon has become the largest hackathon in the continent. Thanks for being part of it. Together, we are going to utilize this transformative technology of AI for the benefit of African people. Thank you very much, team. All right, see you everyone. Take care.
Bye everyone.